How's it going, man? I just want to go over a couple things before we get started because I know there's a lot of stuff on the screen and I'm going to send it to you in a minute. This is pretty much done. I just want to run through a couple things, get organized. That's all it is. My apologies if this is long-winded. I tend to be long-winded. So, what we're looking at is your program. And over here, this is going to be your like 1 rep max stuff. Which we don't know quite yet. So the game plan for now, in just a very general sense, this week, probably next week, but around the third week and moving forward from there, that's when we're gonna start establishing like what is your base of strength, things like that, and then we can start doing like a personal tailored thing. But as always, with new people, we got to start general. These 2 weeks, the first 2 weeks, I'm just looking to see how you're moving, get some like qualitative and quantitative data on you, and then we'll go from there. So, yep, that's going to be your 1 rep max stuff. That's just for me to run math. So over here, you're going to have your motivation stuff and your energy stuff just every day. Give me a quick number. It doesn't have to be dead accurate. If you're feeling pretty good, toss an 8 in there out of 10. If you're feeling pretty crappy, like a 1 or a 2. That just helps me get an idea of your fatigue levels, how you're feeling, because if life's really getting to you, like it does all of us, then it might be time to pull back, sort of thing. So that's just for me and the psychological part of stuff. And at the very top, you're going to see week 1 and your date, just to keep things in order. You're going to have this big dark bar at the top of each day, and that's just going to be your day. And then a B, an S, or a D is going to denoting like bench, squat, deadlift, just like your big movements. There's obviously going to be more than that going on, but that's just for me and for you to just kind of get an idea, quick glance, what are we doing today? So from there, we have just, this column is going to be your movement selection, basically what I am having you doing. Over here, you got your sets, you got your reps, and you got your RPE/weight. And then if we slide on over, I have your recommended rest times and your weights and notes. And so just real quick, we're not really doing too many recommended rest times right now. Again, I just want to see how you're moving, kind of dial in your schedule, see if we can't get everything to fit within the time frame you're training day to day that we're trying to get. So you can pretty much ignore this now. I think there's 1 or 2 that I did noted because those are a little more important, but there's really nothing there right now. Again, weight and notes, that's for you to just write 1, the weights that you hit, 2, how they felt. Try to like give me a brief description about them. And then really anything else if you're feeling a certain kind of pain. Try to be, when you're in pain, be pretty specific. Give me like a severity out of 10. Your 10 is going to be your worst pain ever, like ever. So there's that. Feel free to type it so it goes wicked long out the side. I do recommend filling all this out as you go, like after sets, just toss it in, or maybe some people just kind of type it in their notes real quick on their phone and then transcribe it later. Whatever works for you, doesn't really matter. As long as by the end of the week I have all the data, that'd be best. So what else do we have? Right. So you're gonna see a lot of like 2 sets, 3 sets, like your really basic looking programming. That's not how we program for the most part. The only reason it's like that is because 1, I don't want to be blasting you with volume since you haven't been in the gym for too long as of whenever your last break was. And we're going to build from there, so don't worry, that'll change. Where is it? Because we don't have 1 rep max stuff, I tried to qualify the weights and the intensity that we're looking for, right? Oh, phone's falling. And so, if you can see, I don't know if you can see this through the phone on a screen, but you have stuff like near failure, feel your obliques, and like a sick pump, failure is cool sort of thing. Do your best. The weights don't really matter, but the most important part is if something hurts at a 4 or more out of 10, I would prefer you to stop the movement. Write down in your notes that it hurt. Write down like in what way. If there's any weird qualities to it, like a burning or a traveling sensation, those sort of things are really important. So do let me know about those in your notes. But do your best to like get close to the qualifiers that we gave you for the RPE and weight. Again, we're just trying to get you to move. So what I'm not sure how familiar you are with RPE. I probably should have asked you a lot earlier, but RPE is rate of perceived exertion. You've trained with cavia before, and so I'm sure you've probably heard the term thrown around. It's a subjective way to quantify an intensity, a difficulty of a lift. We'll end up going through all that. I know you're closer to like the early intermediate slash like later beginner stage of strength, and we'll definitely get you there quick. That's going to be no big deal. But I want you starting to learn and gain the concepts and a general understanding behind RPE, because once we start getting to like the power phase and then life kind of chills for you and we can start getting you into like that like genuine strength training, strength phase sort of stuff that you see Kavya and others doing, RPE is going to be wicked important. So don't worry about that too much. Just keep the concept in mind. If you want to do like a YouTube research real quick on RPE, that's fine too. If you want to implement it in your notes, that's fantastic. But we're going to gradually get into that, so don't worry too much about that right now. What else do we have? Okay, so your the purple. So every day you have is color coded, but every day is going to have these top two that are like purpley colored, and all those. Whoop, there we go. All that is your general warm ups, right? Over time, depending on your needs, we'll tailor them to be hyper specific to you or more generalized. It's going to depend on what treats you what way and basically your personal needs. So right now, obviously, these are really generic. I want you on the treadmill or the bike, something to get your legs moving, your hips moving, and then obviously your back of your spine is going to follow. So just treadmill or bike, a solid 5 minutes, 10 minutes if you want. Really break a sweat. We want to get the muscles warm. That's the important part. And then a couple sets of front planks, just to like catch a nice contraction, nice pump in the abs. You're going to find that when it comes to pain stuff, that we do a lot of pump work, like intense pumps, because that is like a natural analgesic. It's like acetaminophen without the liver problems. So basically, those kinds of intensities and weights are going to be pretty much up to your discretion, as long as you're hitting the goal, getting the pump whenever it says a pump. Yeah, the rest is up to you. So that's that. We also have, okay, so our priority list, like we briefly touched on. Can you see? Yeah, okay. The red says priority 1, blue is 2, green is 3. Because we don't know how long these training sessions are gonna take for you currently, what I'm gonna have you do is, if you're running low on time, just like all of a sudden you realize you don't have a lot of time in the gym left, or maybe you know that you don't have a lot of time in the gym, just going in, maybe it's like a long work day or you get out late, have to go somewhere, have to do something, that's fine. Prioritize priority 1 stuff, obviously. So everything in red is definitely get that done sort of stuff. Priority 2 is like, if you have more time, get those done. Worst case scenario, you toss the blue ones, but try your best not to. And then obviously green, priority 3, less important stuff. You're going to see that a lot of your core stuff is actually priority 1 or 2, because that's going to be a lot of what it comes along with addressing your back. So and then you're going to see a bunch of links next to the priority stuff. Please watch those before you go to the gym, just so you kind of have an idea of what you're like expected to do. I don't usually write out super long explanations of the movements, because after a while you'll have like this inherent knowledge of what we're looking for. What else? But yeah, definitely check those out beforehand. And if you have any questions, just obviously let me know. Toss in your notes, send me a text. With the exception of the next 2 weeks, because it's finals time, I'm usually pretty good at being like in real time. If you need feedback, send video. Oh, actually, glad I said that. Video is going to be super important. I require video of all top sets / top singles whenever we get there. But everything else is kind of up to your discretion. If you have questions, like, am I doing this right? Is this what you're looking for? Or like, how does this look sort of stuff? Or just like a general critique. Feel free to send more video. More is better. But I'm obviously not going to require you to do every little thing with a video. So that's that. And then the last part of the programming, there's a pretty lengthy bracing video. I think it's like 15 minutes or something. And same thing with the deadlift slack pulling video. It's below the program. Definitely check those out whenever you have time, maybe at night or something, just to like start getting an idea, because I noticed that in your squats and deadlifts, your bracing is the very traditional kind of bracing that we learned. The whole like squeeze your abs, push it down sort of thing. Not where we want to move with this, especially since you have back problems. I'm actually going to start you out slowly, but we're going to slowly learn more advanced bracing techniques. So definitely check those out, and then we will go from there. A couple more things I wanted to show you. This is actually a pretty long video already, and I'm sorry for the length. But ideally, you only have to watch this once. So, a couple explanations for your tempo squats. It's tempo squats of whatever kind of squat it is. 3-1-0, and what that means is you 3 count down, 1 second pause in the hole, and then 0, so just explode right up as fast as you can. That's just a very generic way of everything when we say tempo. I will generally give you a tempo. And then when we have long pause work, which I don't think you have right now, yeah, I'm pretty sure you don't have it right now, but when you have long pause work, I will have like 2-second pause, strict pause, 5-second pause, stuff like that, and then we'll tailor it to you. Some people's 5-second pauses are other people's 3-second pauses, if you know what I mean. So we'll get to that when we get to that. You also have double paused glute bridges, and all that means is at the bottom, when you're in hip flexion, you're just going to pause, continue contracting the glutes. Basically what this is going to do is it's going to require you to maintain contraction throughout the whole movement. At the bottom, where people tend to be loosey-goosey, and at the top, when people tend to be the most contracted. But you're going to pause up there too. This is a wonderful tool. We have found great success with people with low back pain, specifically in that like sacro-lumbar area that you pointed out in the picture. So the next one, the pause dumbbell RDLs. People tend to get these wrong, and I have yet to find a quick and easy way to explain them. So I'm gonna like give you a quick demo of what we're looking for. So you're gonna have your dumbbells, they're gonna be pretty light. The idea is bracing and being able to contract the glutes and control your pelvis, right? So a lot of times with back pain, we lose proprioception skills, and we lose like the ability to flex and extend, and at the same time, we lose the ability to be stable in these positions. And so what we're doing with these are, you're gonna get in your position, ideally a wider stance, and ideally your feet as forward as you can get them. We don't really want toes out too much for these, but pretty much as straight as you can go. You're gonna get your dumbbells. You're gonna be like locked up tight up here. Think long spine, which I'll explain in a second. And it's just gonna be brace, hips back, hips back, hips back, hips back. Find right where you can go, and then you're gonna keep those glutes, keep that core tight, and you're bam. It's not like this. That's not a proper lockout. Proper lockout is just boom. You can picture it like you're just grabbing something and you're just gonna hump the shit out of it. Okay, so long spine. This one's really important because it's something I notice you do on your squats and your deadlifts, which I also tend to do when I'm not thinking. And so what you do to like get into that neutral position and extension, like back extension, thoracic extension, whatever you want to call it, you end up doing a lot of like ribs forward. Like if you, like when you're setting up for your deadlifts, what you end up doing is, so like you're kind of bending down, you're here, you're rounded, and you're gonna try to get into a neutral position or an extended position, and you go, bam. You kind of like push your ribs and your spine forward, like that. That's not really what we're looking for. So instead of using that cue for extension, we're gonna use long spine, long spine. So what that is again, this is what you were doing. Instead of that, it's more of a bam, think up. As if your spine was gonna be like a boop, So if you're just like chilling, hanging out, kind of like loosey-goosey, you're all flexed over in like a bad posture, and then you're long spine. That's all it is. It's gonna take some time to play around with. Don't worry if you don't get it the first time. Again, this week is just to get you moving. These are just points of reference for you to come back to whenever you need to. What else? Pause, long spine, Palloff press. I couldn't find a video. I usually try to like scour the internet for videos, mostly YouTube, for different exercises, but a lot of the times I don't have exactly what we're looking for, so I tend to make videos sometimes. I don't have a band with me. I'm not in my own home right now. But what you're going to do is either you're going to use a band or a cable. Cable's probably preferred, but a band does the job anyways. So you're going to rig it up to the side, so it's like pulling you this way, and you're basically going to resist the rotation. But what I'm looking for with you is going to be when you're grabbing it, everybody is like, lock the shoulders back, hold it out. That's not really what we're looking for. What we are looking for is when you're back here, go ahead and pull those shoulder blades back, retract them. When you press, you're going to press, and you're going to, bam, you're going to let yourself protract, right? Protraction, retraction, protraction. And that's going to put your core in a better position to really contract as hard as it can. And so you're going to use that contraction with the protraction, bam, to resist the rotation. And ideally, you can feel it a little bit lower. Whenever we're doing these core things, what we're aiming for you is to have the contraction at about the level of what your back pain is. Speaking of which, cable crunches. People tend to like bend about here when they're doing the cable crunch. There's a video embedded in there, so you'll see. But what I want you to think about, and it's not actually going to manifest this way, but I want you to think about it and try to get there so you can get the sensation. But again, it won't look like it on video. I just want the sensation for you. Let's say your back hurts like here. I know yours is lower here, but if yours is here, I want you to think about this being your axis of rotation from which you can flex from. See, I'm actually struggling to do it with that load. And then let's say it's lower where yours is. With the cable crunch, it's going to be more of a bam, bam, very small motion. But you'll feel your back pain here, and you're going to feel the pump at roughly the same level. That's all we're looking for. You're going to come to find that we value sensations quite a bit. And I mentioned the bracing and the slack videos, which are at the bottom. Again, definitely be sure to check those out. Anything else? I believe that's it. Yeah, so anyways, if anything ever comes up, feel free to text me, let me know. In the absolute worst case scenario, if you ever get hurt or something weird happens, or if I'm not responding and it's really important, and you've already tried to text me sort of thing, because my phone tends to be off when I'm studying, but Facebook Messenger comes up on my computer in the screen in like the corner, and I can see like the first, I don't know, half a dozen words. So if something is happening, what I have people do is send me a Facebook message with the first couple words being like emergency or I need help in all caps or something, just something that's like attention grabbing, you know? Let's see what else. Once we get you in a position where you do go into your first meet prep, I do ask that you use Facebook Messenger because it can handle more videos for one thing, it's faster, and also, again, my phone will be off, and when it comes to people in prep, it really doesn't matter what I'm doing, I will always be there to answer videos in real time, specifically on the most important days. But that's a ways in the future. With the pandemic right now, nobody's really competing too much. So I believe that is everything. If you have any questions, just shoot me a text, let me know. Again, the next 2 weeks, communication's gonna be a little wonky. I promise that's not how we usually do things. I believe that's it. All right.